Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It all depends on where are you in the world. Hello. I'm Veronica Herfindahl, and I'm pretty excited to be here today. I'm going to be talking about three key elements that I love talking about because I find it very important to get those mastered. I'm talking about your niche or niche. It all depends again where you are in the world, how you call it. Your client. Name it avatar, dream client, or deal client, prospects, future clients, whatever we want to call them. I prefer to call them best fit clients or best friend clients. And then also another element that is super important, super important is messaging. So I want to make sure that I can read your comments. So please say hi. Say hi on the comments. Let me know where are you all tuning in from. And I'm just gonna wait a couple of minutes to give people time to come. I know we had some friends coming up, so I'll wait a minute or two just to make sure we are live. So let me just double check. Drop me a comment if you can hear me well, if everything looks good, and we will get started right away. And people ask me sometimes, why do you talk about those topics? And I let me tell you a little bit about why I do that. Why do I talk about niche, clients, and messaging? I've been in the corporate world for about 20 plus years in marketing and communications, but specifically the last 3 years, I've immersed myself into online marketing, launching programs, and all those tools and elements, programs that mompreneurs like me go to help us grow our business or launch our business. It all depends. And one of the things that I've been able to notice in the past 3 years, which by the way, I find I'm very fortunate to be able to have taken lessons, training, and coaching by some great marketers out there and great coaches themselves. And one of the things that I've been able to observe these past 3 years is a lot of people spend so much time and are so concerned about the how to. What's the formula? What's the plan? What's the blueprint? What are the steps that I need to follow and to do to be able to have a profitable and hopefully scalable business, right? So we're all concerned about that, and it's understandable. We have a business, we want a profitable business, right? We don't want a hobby. Well, we do want a hobby, but that's a separate one. And one of the things that I've observed these 3 years, and I've seen over and over happening, and it really makes me sad, is to see that sometimes because we are too keen on the how to, we want to make sure that we're following the steps to a T, and suddenly nobody's listening, nobody's watching, nobody is interacting with us. And I find that sometimes we get so frustrated, like, call it, we are creating content, right? How many people are creating content these days? Please do drop me a line and let me know you're watching so I can be on top of the comments and hear what you're saying. But so how many times have we been creating content and working hard to be in different mediums and different social media channels to reach our audience, right? But what happens is, and in many cases, nobody's listening. Nobody's interacting with us. Nobody's reading us. No comments, no messages back, no conversation. And And that's a big problem because sometimes we tend to think, and I've seen moms that have taken programs to launch their services, saying the program doesn't work. It really doesn't work for me. And when you look closer, sometimes you realize that it may not necessarily be the problem, and it doesn't mean that it's us. But even though some of the great programs out there include hi, Andrea. Nice to see you here. Love to have you on board. Hello. Thank you for joining me. So many times, moms that have bought those programs, they are blaming it in the program not to work. And what happened is, I firmly believed, and I think I've said it out loud here in the group, every single program worked. And most of them, of course, there are some of there that are not legit or they are just not. But most of the reputable programs out there to launch your services, to promote your services, can work. But the key element, and what I've seen, is that many of them do not emphasize or give the priority and support to those three things: niche, client, and messaging. And believe me, I've taken a few of them. I've gone through them. I observe and absorb all the content out there, and it's great. And yes, there may be something about dream client, avatar, ideal client, and again, we can name it the way we want. And there are some parameters that people recommend to follow, but at the end of the day, nobody's helping us to actually dive in deep into the topics, right? So let me put you an example. Why do I talk about niche, which is what I want to talk about right now? To start with, say hi, drop me a line in the comments, let me know where you're watching from, and if you're watching live, or if you get to catch the replay, especially my friends in Europe or Australia. It may be a little too late for you, but let me know if you're watching live or the replay. So, niching down. The other day I was having a great chat with Andrea that is over here watching us today, and thank you from Egypt. I appreciate you, girl. I know it's late for you. It's getting late. I appreciate you being here. So I was talking to Andrea, and we were. I was putting an example. We were chatting out about niching down and the importance of doing so, and I was giving her an analogy of why it is important to niche down, right? And how to explain that in simple terms, right? Because sometimes there are a lot of complex terms and things. And what is it, niching down? Maybe pretty much, to put it simple, is not talking to everybody. Many people are they say, well, I can do this, I can do that, I can help women, I can help men, I can help people in their 50s, I can help people in their 20s. They could be service providers, they can have an e-commerce, and yes, I can help them because I have the skills and capabilities to help them. What happens with that is we tend to talk or want to talk to everybody, and nobody's listening. Why? Because we're not as specific enough, right? We're not being targeted. We are testing and trying different messages that may appeal to different people. I bet if you are a woman, a mom, a service provider, and if I come to you and you have your own business, and I come to you and talk about writing resumes, not necessarily something that you're going to be interested in. So the more specific we can be, the more targeted we can be, the better. Now, one of the advantages of niching down is that you become a specialist. And I'm going to put you a simple example that I was sharing with Andrea earlier last week. Imagine you are ready to get fit. It's January, New Year resolutions, you want to get back on track, you want to get fit, and you decide to join a gym. so membership, you get a membership, and then you decided you wanted to do a few things. You're not sure what exactly you want to do. So you join a gym, buy a membership, and for a pretty fairly reasonable price, depending on where you are or what type of gym you go to, you get a pretty, let's say for conversation's sake, let's say you pay $100 a month to join the gym. And then you can do weights, and yes, but you really, really like Pilates. I like Pilates. I do Pilates. Or you like Zumba. I also like Zumba. And you want to take some classes. No offense to people that work in the gym, and please, with all due respect, no offense. But many times you take the yoga class or the Zumba class at the gym and you realize that, it's okay, but it's not necessarily a great class. Why? Because they have a variety of classes for a variety of people at different levels, and they are kind of generalists, right? Now, if you really want to get into yoga, if you really want to get into Pilates, you're serious about it. You're not just browsing around and just exercising. What do? Well, you go into a specialized studio that teach either yoga or Pilates. Yes, sometimes they combine one or the other, but in reality is you will go to a place where they're experts in the field, right? And what happens? Something very interesting happens when you do that. As a consumer, you may think, "Ooh, it's not necessarily what I want," but you also get the benefits. When you go to the gym and you have a generalist giving you, sometimes the same teacher gives you the yoga class and the Pilates class, and sometimes even the Zumba one. And the price is reasonable. When you go into specialists and you go into a club Pilates and do specific training for what you love, then you have to pay a higher price. Why do we do that? Because we want a specialized service. Well, it's exactly the same thing with your niche and what you offer. If I'm a generalist, let's put myself as an example. I'm a marketing specialist, right? And marketing and communication has been my field for 23 years now, right? And yes, I've done it. I've done it all. I've like advertising, PR, communications, marketing for non-for-profits, regular corporate communications. I've done it all. But that's here. That's to the top broad level. What happens when I niche down and I decide, well, now I'm a mompreneur. I want to have harmony in my life, and I want to do what I love, do what I'm passionate at, and help people. Right? Help people. Who? I like to help women. Why? Because I'm a woman and I empathize with the needs and the style of doing things with women. Now, let's see. Go deeper, go down further. I love to help moms. Why moms? Again, I'm a mom. I understand the different schedules, the different lifestyles, and the difference there are between a mom entrepreneur and a guy or a dad or somebody that is not a mom. All due respect to everybody, and I'm not trying to discriminate, but I'm trying to niche down. Why? Because I can be of more service if I specialize in something that is of value to the people that I talk to, right? So that is the importance of niching down. And if to summarize it and put it in a simple terms, when you niche down, you reduce the amount of competition significantly. Why? Because you're no longer talking to everybody and competing also with everybody, right? So let's use an example, and drop me a hi if you're still listening. I know you're busy, but social media virtual assistant or a social media specialist, right? It would help you with many things. Can a social media specialist help a small business out there? Absolutely. Can they also help solopreneurs? Absolutely. Can they help big companies? Absolutely. But the language that you utilize and the efforts that you put into talking to one and the others are different. So when we try to talk to everybody at the same time, most of the time, nobody listens, right? What happens when we start niching down? Very specific. Do I help moms? Do I have mom entrepreneurs that have a service-based program? Do I help moms that align to me and my values, people that value honesty, transparency? It does make a difference, right? So with reducing your niche and going to the smaller and smaller and smaller market, you become a specialist in your field, and automatically you reduce the competition going in, because you are not competing, let's say, as a marketer specialist, as a marketing specialist. I'm not really, if you offer funnels and lead generation and email marketing, fabulous, and there is a market out there. I don't offer that. I don't believe in it. I believe in connections, personal relation, and helping each other out. And then I decide to do things differently, right? When many people zig, I zag, right? So they are not my competition, because I'm not helping with the same things that they are helping out. So we can all work together. But that's the way you start specializing yourself, niching down to the very minimum to become a specialist in your field. Many people worry, but isn't it like the more people I talk to, the more people will listen, the more people will buy my product or service? No. I know that mathematically it makes sense in probabilities and so on. In marketing, it does not work that way. The more specialized you are, the more your niche is smaller and specific, the higher your chances of being heard. And that's what we want. We want clients, right? We don't want just to be here and not be here. We all want clients. We want to have a profitable business, right? So that brings me, let me just check in. Please do, if you have any questions or any specific, if you want me to look at your niche, your client profile, or your message, please do let me know. I'm gonna take a quick look and just check the comments, but please do let me know if you have any questions. I'll do my best. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. I'll do my best to address it quickly. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. Now, what happens is, why I talk about niching down. Now, let's talk about the client. Some people, especially people are in a different field, are looking for leads, lead magnets. I also had a post over there the other day, had great conversations about why I don't like lead magnets, but I'll leave that for another life. Let me just concentrate on this. So people are looking leads and use a lead magnet to get people into their mailing list. Great, not a problem. But what happened when they want leads? They want a lot of leads. And again, the same principle applies. The more I have, the greater the chances of getting people to be my clients. In order to get leads, yes, you create valuable content and you want to give it for free, although many charge with an email address or a phone number or whatever contact information you use. Now, despite working tirelessly creating content or promoting your lead magnet, pushing your lead magnet to get leads, you're not getting clients. And you may have enough people in your mailing list, but if you are still talking to everybody, people are not engaging with you. So that's it's kind of tiring, right? And when you're talking to somebody, when you're creating and doing your best to put your best foot forward and give, and nobody gives back, and it is one of those things. So what I prefer is to find your best fit client. Your best fit client, it's being able to find that people, only those that you would love to work with, those that you enjoy spending time with. Like Andrea and I just had a great conversation, and we didn't, it's not that we have met for a long time. We actually met online in this fabulous group and had a fabulous conversation. Why? Because we're similar. We have similar values. We share many of our priorities and values, and it just makes it, we understand each other easy when we have a conversation, because we like and care and value the same thing. So when you, instead of looking for leads, looking for your best fit client, ideal client, dream client, call it the way you want. I don't like ideal and dream client, to tell you the truth, because for me a client is a reality, not a dream that I want. It's a reality. So once you're able to understand, to identify and select, listen please, select, choose, pick who you want to work with, things get a lot easier, my friend, a lot easier. Because then it's like you're having a coffee chat with your friends, and guess what? They happen to pay for that because they value what you do. They understand what you do. They value it. They see the benefit. You don't have to force them to do this or that. It just comes natural because they get you, right? So it's so great to be able to work with best fit clients, best friend clients, those friends that you can help, serve, and they'll be happy to pay you. And not only that, they will also be happy to refer you and talk about you because they believe in you. So that's number two. Now, if you have a specific questions about niching down or clients, please do let me know. I'll be happy to answer those questions. Now, let me just check. Yes, we still have time. Let me just go quickly to the last piece of these three key elements to get more clients. That's, some people call it content. I like to call it message. People create content for that bigger niche that they have and is still niche down and specialized. They keep trying to talk to everybody and getting leads. And guess what? They're creating content. They're present 24/7 in social media. Believe me, I'm working actually with a client right now. She is everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Pinterest. Does she need to be in 5 different places? No, she doesn't. But what she's doing, or she was doing, is trying to reach as many people as possible, right? So creating content 24/7, and then crickets. Nobody's listening. There is no engagement. There may be a like here and there, but there is no engagement. There is no conversation. Why? Because it's impossible, or practically impossible, to write content that resonates with somebody that could be A, B, C, D, and could be looking for so many different services, right? It just makes sense. If you are not interested in what the other person is talking about, you're not going to turn and look. And yes, it may happen that in 3 days or 4 days, he or she may talk about something you're interested in. You're already gone, right? We have to be very, very, very targeted, right? So once you have specialized in that micro mini niche, you then figure out, determine who is it that you're talking to and what are they interested in hearing. Then you can have a conversation. Then you can really engage with them and talk to them about what they want to hear. I'm here, for example, talking to mompreneurs that have tried or have bought a coaching service, a program online, have tried lead magnets, building email lists, funnels, you name it, ads, paid ads. A lot of people have lost a lot of money in paid ads because they don't have, guess what? Their niche, their client, and their message master. And you know how much time and money can be drained on ads when you don't have those two? And in reality, I say ads because of the money component, but any other effort and activity that you do that without having mastered those three elements, again, niching down, client, define client, and message, is not gonna work. Or it will be really, really extremely hard to work. And it's tiring. It's tiring. I see it over and over. People are frustrated, blaming the program, saying it doesn't work. Sometimes even questioning, do I have what it takes to get it done? And honestly, once we start talking and once we connect, we see it's not you, it's not the program. It's just that the programs that you have bought and the training you have taken have not had somebody by your side holding your hand doing those exercises with you. Because I can tell you exactly what to do. How many of you have in your programs specifics about your avatar, dream client? How many of you have actually done the work? I find it's not that easy. I do have a marketing background, that's my thing, and I find it is easier for me because of my background. But I work with a lot of people. One of my clients, Gabby, she helps women, moms, and she helped moms that have gone through separation, so they are grieving, to strengthen their relationship with their kids. And at the beginning, it was just so hard for her to talk to everybody. But now we are niching down, we're being specific, and then soon we're in the middle of the process, and I'll keep you updated with her progress. She will start having those conversations, and ideally, of course, the clients that she's looking for. So I think we are getting to the hour. I don't want to hold you up any longer, but please do let me know, for those of you still watching, if you have any questions about niche, clients, messaging, in order to get more clients. And in the meantime, let me just tell you, I'm pretty excited. I am launching for the first time my beta program. Is this client couldn't say it, eh? Client multiplier formula. But I'm doing an intensive training. It's a 2-week training. I was asking some opinion because I wanted to help. I'm looking for a very small group, seriously, for top 6 maybe, a small group of mompreneurs that have a service-based business that have tried online programs or any coaching or marketing program to launch their business, and they are still yet to see success. I want to help you have more clients. I want you to be specific and be happy with the people that you're working with. I want you to create content effortlessly because you know exactly who you're talking to and what they want to hear. And I want to take you in this intensive training 2 weeks. We're going to meet 6 times in 2 weeks, and you're going to have some homework, and I'm going to do this with you. I'm not going to give you a program, pre-recorded program, and off you go. I know you have enough of those. I'm going to be doing this with you live, 6 sessions during 3 weeks, and then you're going to have some homework, some assignments to do that we're going to review, work around, so you can be ready for 2024 and have more clients. So I'm going to be dropping the link in the comments. Oh, sorry, I just noticed I had, I'll get to you in a second. Andrea, where do you find your niched client? Where do you find your niche client? Well, it all depends who they are. But in order to be able to niche down, You have to start where you are right now. So you help people with social media in particular, right? So with social media management, right? I find that it's one of those what's first the egg of the chicken between niche and client. You need to start working on, you need to start defining who you are, your values, your style of business, and from there start determining who is it that you like working with. What is it that you can solve for them in the easiest, fastest possible way to give them results? Then you start looking into, once you have that defined, then you start looking into where do I find them, right? So I hope I answered your question. Sorry, I just saw it late, but where do you find your niche client? Now, in terms of specifically, and I'll just stay one more minute, I don't want to overstay. Specifically, the way you determine where to find your best fit client or that niche down, as you mentioned, client, is to get to know her, to get to know him. The more you know about them, the easier it would be for you to know where they are, where they hang out. Are we talking women, entrepreneur? You're on the right way. You're on the right group. But we will be more specific. Drop me a line, Andrea. I would love to keep the conversation going, but the time is just running out. If you are looking for more clients and you want help, like hands-on help, me by yourself, join us. We start next week, December 11th. As I say, it's an intensive training, and I hope to see you all moms there. Take care. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.